Hey guys, and welcome back to Cornerstone Youth's YouTube channel. We're continuing on with our July series, Mission Possible. I'm Sarah, and I'll be following you along in this journey. So, what do you remember from last week? Do you remember when I told you that we're all technically secret agents? Because if you're a follower of Jesus, then you're part of what he called the Great Commission. Jesus' mission, as he told us in Matthew 28 verses 18 to 20, is that we should go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So, what's next in our mission? We already know that God doesn't want us to be perfect, but that he wants us to be real. So what's next? Well, so basically, to show the gospel, Jesus wants you to do this, and do that, and do that. Wait, that doesn't really make sense. Do you guys remember show and tell in elementary school? I do. I used to bring my hamster in and show my friends about that and tell them about its name. It was usually Hammy, or Rhino, or something obscure like Lychee. I was a weird kid. Anyway, the point of show and tell is to show people something and then tell them about it so they can understand what they're looking at. But if you just show and not tell, or just tell and don't show, what's the point? So Jesus didn't just go into communities, preach at them, and then leave. That would be weird and ineffective. Jesus wanted his followers to build relationships and learn to serve others even before or while they shared the good news with their words. Years after Jesus' resurrection, there was this man named Paul. And Paul never met Jesus in person, but he saw him in a vision, and that encounter changed his life. He became one of the greatest missionaries of all time. So in this passage in Acts, we're going to read about a trip. Paul took many missionary journeys around the world, but this trip took him to two particular cities, Iconium and Lystra, and he was traveling with his missionary partner, Barnabas. So let's read about how their actions, combined with their words, helped them to share the gospel. So we're going to read from Acts 14, verses 1 to 3, 8 to 11, and then 14 to 15. At Iconium, Paul and Barnabas went as usual into the Jewish synagogue. There they spoke so effectively that a great number of Jews and Gentiles believed. But the Jews who refused to believe stirred up the Gentiles and poisoned their minds against the brothers. So Paul and Barnabas spent considerable time there, speaking boldly for the Lord, who confirmed the message of his grace by enabling them to do miraculous signs and wonders. In Lystra, there sat a man crippled in his feet, who was lame from birth and had never walked. He listened to Paul as he was speaking. Paul looked directly at him, saw that he had faith to be healed, and called out, "Stand up on your feet!" At that, the man jumped up and began to walk. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they shouted in the Lycaonian language, "The gods have come down to us in human form!" But when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of this, they tore their clothes and rushed into the crowd, shouting, "Men, why are you doing this? We too are only men, human like you. We are bringing you good news, telling you to turn from these worthless things to the living God who made heaven and earth and sea and everything in them." So how do we show the gospel instead of just telling the gospel? Looking at these stories of the early missionaries, we can notice that wherever they went, they brought value to others. And here's how they did it. The words they spoke brought value to others. So people found their hope and their help in the message of Jesus. Their actions brought value to others. So they healed people of diseases and they helped people in need for God and his kingdom. And lastly, the relationships they built brought value to others. They got to know people and spend time with them, and in doing so, they got to understand how exactly they could help those people for God. Think of it this way. Which strategy do you think is more effective in showing Jesus' love to others? Hey! Oh my gosh, what happened to your face?
I walked into a door and hurt my eye.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry for laughing, but like you're so clumsy. Oh my gosh, your prom photos are gonna look so bad.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness. Do you mind if I take this for my snap streaks? Thanks. It's so bad. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I came here to tell you that I'm hanging out with some friends at the park.
Can I come?
Oh, sorry. You're not invited. But yeah, I just came to let you know. I mean, is there any point since you can't really see me? So, okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.
Hey, I walked into a door and hurt my eye.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. Wow, you're so strong. I think you're gonna be just fine. You just have to take a few days off, you know? Do you want some ice?
I'm okay.
Okay. Oh, I'll be praying for you. Actually, I have youth group later tonight at Cornerstone. Did you want to come?
I don't want to be a burden.
My friends would love you. Please? Okay, we'll go together. Maybe I'll get you ice first though?
Sure.
Oof. Which girl would you rather hear the gospel from? When it comes to sharing the gospel, sometimes we need to earn the right to be heard. And how can we do that? Well, we can do that by building up trust and building influence with other people that we have relationships with. And how do we do that? We need to add value to others through our words, our actions, and our relationships. Story time! Welcome back to the kindergarten room setting. Hope you like it here. Hope you feel safe. So today's story is going to be about how I and a bunch of other teens that you probably know at Cornerstone showed Jesus' love and his gospel to people with our actions and not just our words. So taking you back all the way to March of this year when a group of us went to Nicaragua, which is one of the poorest countries in Central America. And we went there purposefully to serve and help the people there and also to show them Jesus' love. The only thing though, they speak Spanish over there. And I'm not too good with Spanish. I speak English, I speak French, I even speak a little bit of Chinese, but Spanish is a bit outside of my comfort zone. So going into this, I learned hola, ¿cómo estás? Buenos noches, buenos días, all those kinds of words, but I couldn't really share the gospel of Jesus Christ with people. So I was wondering, Jesus, how am I going to show them who you really are and talk to them about you if I can't even say the words in the language they understand? And so I prayed and I asked God, help me to show them your love and show them your life and your death and your resurrection, but all through my actions because my words are not very good. So, a little background though. For months even before March, even before our mission trip, my dad had been asking me all the time to cut his hair. Why? My dad's Asian. We like to save some money. So to save a quick buck, my dad kept asking, Sarah, would you just cut my hair? Sarah, cut my hair. Do I have any hairdresser experience? No. Did I want to cut his hair? No. But do I love my dad? Yes. So I wouldn't do it very willingly sometimes, but I would cut my dad's hair here and there, search up some YouTube tutorials, just kind of like cut hair. And so I did that for months before Nicaragua, but I didn't know how useful that trait, how God had been building that in me, how useful that would really be. So one day we got this opportunity to go to a church, and homeless people would often come to this church and hear messages taught by preachers who actually can speak Spanish, and they would hear the good news of Jesus. But we were invited there to do one awesome thing for them: cut hair. You guessed it. And so I didn't know that all the months before God had been equipping me for that same moment. So we had set up chairs along the side of the church, and we set up a few chairs on one side with all our barber shears and our scissors and all the things that we would need to cut hair. And men started to trickle in, and as they trickled in, I noticed the state of their hair. And some of their hair was really curly, really thick. some of their hair was really long. And I noticed as we helped out this one gentleman, his hair was so long. It was like past his shoulders. It was starting to curl up. And it wasn't greasy in a way that you would understand. It wasn't like oh, like it's my third day not washing my hair kind of grease. This was the kind of grease and sweat and muck and grime that had been so enmeshed in his hair that his hair was now hard. It was crispy is the best word I can use to describe it. It was so hard and so tough, as if he hadn't, been able to take a shower. He hadn't had a haircut in months. And so when I saw his hair, my heart broke, because it's so easy for my dad to get a haircut. It's so easy for us to get haircuts in Canada, but for people who are homeless, who live in other countries where the situations are more severe, who don't have the money to go to a hair salon, that is a privilege. Getting a haircut is like a special blessing. So the fact that we were able to go in and just love on these men and to cut the hair, and I loved cutting off each lock of hard, dry hair and shaving it off so that he was free of it. And every man that sat down and left, you could just see their body just loosening up, their smiles on their faces when they thanked us, when they were so happy to have that hair gone, all that dirt and muck and grease and grime all stripped away. That was a moment that changed me so much, that hurt my heart but also healed it all at the same time. To just see how we can show Jesus' love literally by doing the smallest acts for people, by cutting hair. That's how God used me. So imagine the things that he's built in you. How can you help someone? Because when you pray for the opportunity to show people God's love through your actions and then with your words eventually, he will give you those opportunities. So who are you going to cut hair for today? So remember, we as Christ followers have this awesome mission of not just telling our faith, but show and telling our faith. And we can do that by being helpful with our words, actions, and relationships. And just watch how God transforms the people around you and you yourself on this journey. Okay, friends, I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next one. Be blessed. Bye!